Hello, welcome to Beach View, our podcast about all sorts of things and stuff.
Yes, and today we are doing another movie, this time High School Musical 3, Senior Year, which came out in 2008, and unlike the previous two, was released in theaters instead of being a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, so I didn't remember that, and I don't know why I was thinking, it was released, more recently than that. I knew the other ones were released, early 2000s, whatever, but I was just thinking this one was, a later one, but...
Nope.
I guess I was wrong. I never saw any of them, obviously, which I've talked about before. So I just did not remember at all that this was released in theaters, or the year it was released.
Yeah, and we did the previous two in 2023. We just kind of never got around to this one for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And now we're doing it.
So we had to bring it back. Yeah, because, you can't watch 2 out of 3. You have to finish it. But, are there any others? Am I, missing any?
There was a TV series that came out, a decade after, but it's a different thing.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of that was more recent. I don't know. But anyway, I was surprised at how old it was.
Yeah. This is my first time watching this one. I guess because it was in theaters, I didn't bother to see it in 2008.
Yeah.
The other two came on TV. That's a lot easier to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I have to say, I didn't like this one. I don't know how you feel about it, but...
I didn't hate it. It sounds terrible, but I liked the sentiment behind it, I guess. And I liked some of the characters a little bit more in this one. But I felt like, okay, I know it's a musical, but I felt like every other word was a song.
It wasn't that bad.
I felt like there was a lot of singing, it was, very close together. Which, like I said, I know sounds silly because it's a musical. but you know how, let me qualify this. I felt like, and, okay, I could be misremembering because it's been a while. But I felt like the first and second one, you had more, acting in between the songs than this one. I don't know if that's correct, but that's just the feeling I got.
There's plenty of normal dialogue in between in this one. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was all songs.
I really felt like, I was like, oh my gosh, another song already? I don't know. I don't know why I felt that way this time, but
I don't even think there's, that much, music in here, but...
Really?
Yeah, there's only, I don't feel like counting it, but... I think there's only 10 songs. I don't know. I didn't feel like that. Not a complaint I had.
Yeah, I wonder how it compares to the other ones. I'll have to look that up. I did not look that up, but
I feel like it's the same. I don't know.
It probably is. Honestly, it probably is. Like with the other ones, I thought the production was. You could obviously see all the choreography, all the skill and talent that went into it. So, it's a big feat to do a musical and, from someone who is not musically inclined. Just all the choreography is amazing to me. So I thought that was cool. But the whole movie itself, I probably wouldn't want to watch it again.
No. For one thing, you can tell this came out in theaters.
Yeah.
There's for one, the camera is different. That's to be expected. But there's we have the budget, so some of these songs just have these wild scene changes where they have a new set.
Yes.
Look at our budget.
Yes.
We put it all in the sets. So just a ton of them. And I was I did not like that. There's multiple songs on here that are new set, new set, new set.
Yes. That was one thing I was okay, I don't know. Something about the streaming or TV versions, I guess you would say, was a little more, I don't want to say authentic because that's not the right word I'm looking for because that doesn't fit, but I don't know, a little more
measured, maybe?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you're definitely right. While I was wow, the production on this is really a lot of work went into this, at the same time, I would kind of like the TV ones better. The production on the TV ones better.
Yeah, I think they overdid it here.
Yes. So it was a little much, but.
Yeah, also the songs, which we'll, get into song by song on the plot synopsis, but I felt like they were mostly reruns of stuff they did in the previous two, like nothing here really stands out.
Yes. It didn't feel super original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little, subplots that either don't go anywhere or get dropped.
Yeah.
That happens constantly in this movie, and I'm just, it's weaker for it. The plotting in general is just weaker.
Yes. 100%.
Like, Sharpay basically has nothing to do, and she was, a pretty big character in the previous two.
Yes.
Yeah, Gabriella's main plot just kind of, gets resolved magically.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just not, doesn't stand out for that. Yeah, it felt like just a weaker film than the previous two.
Yeah, which I hate, because if they're ramping up the production and it's going to be released in a theater, why not make the plot, really good,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, don't know what happened there, but yeah, it's just a lot of little things.
I hate, when you have a movie series like this, I hate when by the time the third one comes around, it's just womp womp. And I don't feel like this was like that, but I would have loved to have seen a better plot, because I feel like you could do, you have that angst around senior year, but it's also full of joy. You could really dive into it better. I felt I think you could have had some really good plot lines, but like I was saying, it kind of felt like every other sentence was a song. So I was like,
I
okay,
disagree
cool.
with that, but
it's so funny. It's funny that we have a different feeling of that, but yeah, I just was I don't know, we could have done, it could have been better.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of this.
I'll be honest, I don't remember the second one. I don't remember the plot of the second one that much.
They work jobs at a country club in the summer.
Oh yeah, I remember liking it better than this, but yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, overall not a fan of this. I guess we'll get into the plot synopsis then.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and also when songs come up, we'll talk about those. So we open at the basketball finals, where in the first half they're down really bad. They go to halftime, give a rousing speech, and then come out to a song, which is Now or Never. What'd you think of this?
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just kind of okay.
Yeah.
That was it, yeah. Also, that basketball game, there were so many fouls. I was what are they even doing? Are they even playing? Stop.
Yeah, it just, to me, it wasn't it felt like a rerun of songs they've already done. I didn't hate this song, but
this was another one where I immediately was oh, look at that, where they had the basketballs bouncing everywhere.
No, that's a different song.
That's not it? That's a different song? Okay, never mind, sorry.
Yes, we will talk about that though.
I thought that was this song.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, also I thought, I don't know why, I just thought it was hilarious when, Troy gets knocked down and he's on the ground and, Gabriella pops up with, a spotlight on her.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. All right, so that part, I, noted that part, because she was just Troy! Yeah. And I was oh my gosh, get out of here. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I thought that was ridiculous. But
that was ridiculous. Not even in, a funny way. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I was laughing at it. I'm sure it was not the intent.
Honestly, yeah, it was funny, honestly, because it was oh my gosh, this is so cheesy. Yeah.
All right. So then they're, down by, 2-1, something like that. And there's, a few seconds left, and Troy's let's give it to the new kid.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a budding plot point, is, the underclassmen.
Yeah, rising up,
Yeah, and so they give it to the new kid, they win, and they go home for an after party, where everybody's like hanging out. And then Troy and Gabriella have a conversation in their treehouse about like, things are good right now, but everything's about to change. And then they sing a song about that, which is Right Here, Right Now. What'd you think of this song?
That one didn't bother me as much. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, get fine, but it felt like such a rerun of like stuff they'd already done.
Yeah, I felt like even the songs in the movie felt redundant. Like,
yeah,
they already sang about that. Let's move on. Like, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. This one just, to me, I was listening to it and was like, this is just like a weaker version of like,
yeah.
What was the song on the one? Soaring, Flying, whatever? Like,
yeah,
the song they did in the first movie that was the Troy and Gabriella song.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't mind this one. It was, a little weaker, but I was like, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, this sets up the main plot, for, the main, like, character motivation for Troy and Gabriella, which is, they don't know what they want to do with their future. Maybe they want to, like, change plans a bit. Things are about to change, but they like, what's going on right now, so.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I didn't mind that plot. Like, that's, I think, something that seniors in high schools feel,
Yeah. I felt like, it is a good story to tell for this.
Yeah, I like that part of it, so I was good with that. Like, what do we do? Oh no, we're both getting into these amazing schools.
Yeah, and they go to school, see, this is when I'm gonna have trouble with the plot, but, they're in homeroom, they're doing stuff, and, Kelsey, the composer for the musical, signs everybody up for, in the class for the musical, in their, school play, so they all have to do that, because otherwise Sharpay was gonna, like, have a, one-woman show.
I love their, like, love-hate relationship with Sharpay.
Yeah, and, Sharpay hires an assistant who's this, like, British child. Once again, the underclassmen thing coming up, but also, like, I did not like this British child.
Yeah, I didn't love this either.
Yeah, so, because, if you remember in the last movie, Sharpay and Ryan had, like, a falling out, like, Sharpay was, like, always putting him on the back burner, she wanted to, like, shine for herself, and Ryan, like, came into his own as a person. That was his character arc in the last movie, so she needs a new assistant. And then they, like, go to the, drama club. Do they go there? Yeah, right. And then, because they're there, like, hanging around, and a bunch of people get, like, Juilliard's coming to watch our play to offer scholarships, and one of the people who got it was Troy Bolton, who's like, well, I don't know what I want to do now, because he's like, maybe I do want to pursue drama instead of basketball.
He's having, like, an identity crisis.
Yeah, again.
Again, poor little guy.
Yeah, and then we go to the cafeteria, and Sharpay talks to Ryan. It's like, we gotta get the Kelsey's best songs. So he writes them for Troy and Gabriella. We gotta get those. We gotta get ahead. And she's sort of, like, again, because the plot from the last movie was Ryan coming into her zone, and there's a song, and the song's sort of about, like, her trying to entice him back in. It's like, we could be famous together, and this is I Want It All. What'd you think of this one?
I didn't mind this one. I kind of liked how her character was still, like, kind of being selfish, and he was, like, reminding her, like, it's us, not just you, so...
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
I did not like this one. I thought this was a worse version of the Sharpay songs that they had done in the previous two movies. And this is the worst offender for... We have a bunch of, sets.
Yeah.
Because it's just constantly changing sets.
Yeah. But I think as far as, like, displaying her character, though, like, I thought it fit with her character, I guess.
Sure, but I mean, again, this plot doesn't go anywhere. This is one of the subplots that just gets unceremoniously dropped.
Right.
So, but that happens later, because, like, again, it's falling off the last movie, like, a good place to take it, is Sharpay kind of trying to, like, bring him back in the orbit.
Yeah.
Even though I did not like this song. Or the accompanying, musical, the, like, scenes.
Yeah.
And what happens after this?
You're asking me.
because I'm looking at the songs list and trying to like determine like, okay, so I make sure I have the names of the songs. I forgot to mention this. During this, Troy's bought like a really like junker of a car that keeps breaking down.
Yes.
Shit. So the next song is "Can I Have This Dance?" I forget how we get here, but Troy's going up to the roof, invites Gabrielle. They were on this roof in the first movie, and they have another thing where Troy invites Gabrielle to prom, and then they do a song and dance about it. What'd you think of this song?
What was the name of the song?
Can I Have This Dance?
Oh yeah, they're on the roof, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That was fine. I didn't think either way about this song, honestly.
Oh, see, I like this song probably the best out of
I
this
like
movie.
I like the rooftop like scene. I thought that was like, it was a really cool rooftop, obviously, like gardens and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it.
I appreciated that this didn't have all like, go all out with the scene decorations.
Yeah.
It was just them on the rooftop garden dancing and singing.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And their little dances were cute. I thought the choreography was cute. Now that I'm remembering more.
Yeah, they it starts raining at the end, and they go inside, and again, I don't know what happens after this.
So I remember. Okay, so Chad was asking, what's her face to dance, and like asked in front of everybody at lunch or something.
Yeah, he asked first, and then she's like no, because she wants to be special or something.
Yeah.
So then it does it again at the dance, and there's like this whole big scene about it.
Yeah. And then they talk about what is it? Don't they go to rehearsal?
So I guess, yeah. I'm looking at the Wikipedia plot synopsis at this point because I really don't remember this.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember exactly the order.
Also, throughout this, like, Troy and Chad are having conversations, and like Troy's kind of like, I don't know if I want to, because they're set to go to U of A, which is a fake university, which like from like the previous movies, but they start mentioning real universities. In this movie,
which was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's happening throughout. Sharpay's trying to get Ryan to, like, get the songs from, Kelsey. Right. Yeah, the group rehearses the musical. They do this several times throughout. I don't remember, like, what exactly happens. But the next song is A Night to Remember, which is a song from it. I don't remember this one.
I don't remember either. I guess they're talking about prom.
Oh, is this the one about the prom where they're like all the guys are like, "Ugh, I don't like prom."
Yeah, I guess that's the one because it's not like the actual prom. I guess they're talking about prom.
Yeah.
And which I know like prom's like a big thing your senior year, but I didn't love this part.
Yeah. I hated the whole, the guys hate prom, but the girls love it, and everybody's like getting ready for it. And this one also had a bunch of like different sets.
Yeah.
Like a huge choreographed
and
number.
Like prom's in like 2 days or something. I don't know. Like it's goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when does Gabriella tells I forget the girl's name, her friend's name. About getting into
Taylor?
Stanford. So she tells Taylor like she's getting into Stanford and they have some kind of like early like orientation or something.
I didn't know that. It was like an honors program where you like leave school.
Yeah, like you leave your senior year and you go to Stanford.
Early, yeah, but that means she would miss the prom and like she would have to like fly back from Stanford to New Mexico for the other events like graduation and stuff.
Yeah.
Or no, she would miss the show. She would have to miss the show, but she could fly back for prom. Also, at some point in here, they haze the new basketball kids. There's like a Troy and a Chad wannabe.
Yeah.
That they like lead around, like, they do the old, they come out of the shower and their clothes are missing bit.
Yeah, and they're running around in towels.
Yeah, which is played for laughs, but I'm like, this is bad, right?
Yeah.
Like...
And that little boy, one of the kids was like so small, like it was cute, but...
Yeah, I feel like maybe this was before the whole like anti-hazing thing became big.
Yeah, I think so.
let's see. There's apparently another song in here, Just Wanna Be With You. I don't remember when this happens or what this song's about.
Was that when he was trying to, like, convince her to... Because she's like, no, I'm not gonna go, and...
No, that's later.
Okay. I was, like, trying to think of where that song would fit in.
I know that one's later. But, oh yeah, also, Sharpay's little, assistant finds out about the, freshman honors thing. And, like, feeds that information to Sharpay, who, like, tries to do something about it. I don't know, because, that means she'll miss the, main thing, and that means Sharpay will have to fill in for Gabriella at the show.
Yeah, so I think she, like, prints it out and goes and shows Troy.
Yeah, but that happens later.
Okay.
Because,
I thought that was right around the same time.
Yeah, but it's a little later. But yeah, also, Ryan and Kelsey, are, like, Kelsey's, like, performing or, like, practicing composing, whatever, and Ryan shows up, and they, like, have a moment, and he invites her to prom, because, Sharpay's like, you should get the songs, and Ryan's like, no, but I asked her to prom, and this is the last time this plot comes up.
Yeah.
They also both basically fall out of the movie after this point.
Right? Yeah.
So, subplot dropped, the, little kids, the underclassmen also like, they get roped into the play, so they show up later, but also it's like, I don't know, it's mostly, what's-his-face being annoying around Troy.
Yeah.
Troy, like, trying to get rid, like, I don't know, that whole, like, subplot goes nowhere.
Yeah, it was goofy.
Yeah, and then I think, Troy and Ched show up at a, like, junkyard to get some parts for his car.
Oh, yeah.
Where they, like, sort of have a conversation about, like, their childhood and, like, where they're going.
Yeah.
And then they sing a song. Like, this whole thing, minus their conversation, is a plot cul-de-sac. Entirely pointless. Basically the last time the car bit comes up.
Yeah.
With his car breaking down and stuff. Although there is a really funny moment that happens later because of this. But, yeah, they sang The Boys Are Back. What'd you think of this song?
I didn't like this song.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I did not like it. I thought it was goofy, like, not in, like, a funny way. It was just like, okay, the boys are back. Cool.
Yeah, they never left. Also, like, I feel like you can't do The Boys Are Back. Like, that's already, the boys are back in town. Like, that already exists.
Yes! It felt, yes. It didn't, it just didn't feel original. And I don't know, it reminded me of, like, Grease or something when the guys are, like, singing. I don't know. It was just kind of like,
yeah.
I wasn't into it.
Yeah, but this is probably the worst song in the film, I think, just because it's like, I don't know, it feels unoriginal. The whole choreography is this weird junkyard warrior stuff that's, like, nonsense.
Yeah.
It's a plot
But, like,
cul-de-sac.
where did they go? Yeah, what, the whole thing is, the boys are back. Okay, where were they?
Yeah, they never left.
Why are they back? Yeah. I didn't get it.
Yeah, I thought this whole scene sucked. Right, this is where Troy finds out, yeah, after this, Sharpay tells Troy, like, hey, I heard your girlfriend's going to the, whatever, honors program, at Stanford.
He's like, what?
And yeah, she hadn't told him because she's not sure about it yet. And then, Troy and Gabriella go and have a conversation about it. And, Troy's like, no, you definitely have to go. And she's like, no, I don't want to leave. I want to enjoy my senior year. They're all upset about this.
He's like, but your future, you have to go.
Yeah. Right, and then they have, like a whole scene. They do a Right Here, Right Now reprise, which is just that song from earlier about them, like, saying they're all emotional about it. She's, like, like, growing emotionally distant because of this, because it's clearly, like, upset her. Because that's, like, the best decision for her, to go to Stanford and do this honors program thing. But that also means she's not gonna, like, be able to see everybody, and, like, she's gonna have to fly in for prom and, for graduation.
Yeah. Which I'm like, what kind of honors program takes you out of school? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a real thing. It sounds weird, though.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's immaterial to the plot, just that, she's gotta leave. And she decides to leave the next day. Like, initially she's like, no, I'm gonna stay and maybe, like, try to go to U of A to be closer to you. But then she's ultimately like, no, I have to go.
Yeah. Yeah. The angst is just a lot.
Yeah, and then, I don't remember what order this happens in, This is when she has the song Walk Away.
Okay.
And this is her moving on. And there's a funny scene where Troy shows up in his car and it breaks down, so he has to walk off.
Yeah.
It's the last time the car
Jakey
comes
car.
up, but
Jakey car.
it's really funny that he has to walk home.
Yeah, poor little thing.
It's not remarked upon, but yeah, this is just a knockoff of Gotta Go My Own Way from the last film, which is better than this.
Yeah. So, is it, when does he go, he talks to his dad, like his dad's like,
oh, wait, you're not going to talk about the song?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was funny with the whole car thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it to be very remarkable.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, it just was kind of like, okay, it was there. Like, it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, it has to be there because it's a musical, and if you're gonna have these big emotions like she's having, you gotta express that in song.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely, like, feel the angst, like, which, like I said, I think this is, like, relatable feelings, okay, that you have when you're senior, but I didn't love the song. It wasn't bad. I didn't think it was bad.
Just once again, it feels like a rerun.
Yeah, I would say, like, I had more strong feelings about The Boys Are Back.
Yeah. Right, and then Troy goes and talks to his dad. He's like, I've gotten other offers, because he's like, he doesn't necessarily want to go to U of A, and he doesn't like that. He feels like his life's been planned out for him already.
I love how his dad's like, you've been talking about U of A since you were a little boy. And he's like, well, I'm not a little boy anymore, or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was just, like, a funny, like, dramatic thing.
Yeah, and then he goes and sings his own song called Scream, where he shows up at East High, and this is when all the CGI basketballs rain down.
Yeah, okay, that's the song. Yeah, I was like, nah, not feeling this.
The CGI basketballs look terrible.
They look terrible, but I didn't like this one.
Yeah, I thought the song was fine. Once again, like, they have a song like this in the last movie. Yeah, he also does, he's like walking on the ceiling and stuff. Walking up the wall.
Yeah. I think I started zoning out during this song. I was like, okay.
I mean, I don't hate the song, but it's,
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he ends up in the drama room, the stage, and him and whatever the name of the drama teacher is have a conversation where he's like, I came here to think, and she's like, I did too. Our lead for the play that we planned our musical around just left, so I have to rethink the whole thing. And she's like, I was the one who sent your name into Juilliard because, it seems like you really like being up on stage. I apologize if I overstepped. He's like, no, I kind of feel the same way. So this is like, he has a heart-to-heart with the drama teacher.
Yeah, which, I mean, I didn't mind that scene.
Yeah, it was a fine scene. Right, and then, the next scene is them at, Troy and Chad at Troy's house. And then, so Troy gets a phone call from Gabriella, who's like, oh, I'm not coming to prom, I'm not coming back at all, it's just too painful.
Yeah, I did not understand this part of the plot.
Yeah, well,
it's too painful to come back for prom. Who's gonna miss their senior prom if she was all about prom and, in fact, singing a whole dance and teaching him how to dance on a rooftop, and then she's like, nah, I'm good.
Well, I think she's like, I've said goodbye too many times before, I don't want to come back and have to say goodbye again. She's just like, upset about it and wants to move on, I guess.
I thought that was goofy. I thought that whole thing was goofy.
I don't know. I feel like it makes sense for like a high school angst, What I don't like is how this gets resolved, which is to say it doesn't. It just goes away.
Yeah.
Because then, because Chad's like, oh, you need to get over it, man. Like,
yeah, Chad.
He's like, there'll be other girls at college. You can't date your high school sweetheart into college, which is actually probably good advice, but,
Yeah, right.
Taylor also gives Gabriella the same advice when she's like, you gotta go to the Stanford Honors Program.
Yeah. You can't pass it up.
Yeah. But, so then Troy's like, you know what? I'm gonna go drive there to California, even if
in my rickety truck.
Yeah. even though that means missing prom. So he shows up at Stanford, and they do a reprise of Can I Have This Dance, where they like kind of have a vision of prom.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah, the
miss prom.
hallucinating
They miss
prom.
prom.
But they had their own
Yeah.
fake prom.
But yeah, so I don't like he just shows up and she's like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna do stuff now." Like that's not a resolution of the plot. Like it just ends.
No. It kind of, like, I was like, "Aw, how sweet." But then, weren't they saying, like, the school was, like, 2,000 miles away?
It's Stanford, which is in California, to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So quite a
Yeah.
distance away.
Well, yeah, I was like, so you drove in that rickety broke down truck.
Yeah, again,
Like,
the car does not come up again after this.
yeah. So I would, and she, she sees the truck, and so, like, knows that he's there, and he's, like, in a tree. And she's like, "What is with you in trees?" So I thought, like, okay, it's cute that he's there, but it didn't really make sense logically to me. And then, like you said, she's all of a sudden like, "Okay, I'll come join y'all again,"
Yeah. Like, the plot just ends. It's like, this is, like, one of the main plot things, like, of the movie. One of, like, your main character conflict.
Yeah.
And it just ends.
Yeah.
Dissipates into thin air. I thought that was just bad.
Right.
Anyways, then they do the senior year spring musical, which is, I don't think there's any new songs here. I think it's all, like, reruns.
I think so.
But yeah, there's a problem because Troy isn't there. They were expecting Gabriella not to be there, but they're expecting Troy to be there. So the musical gets all messed up, and so what's his face, the little kid, that's like
The little guy.
Yeah, Troy's understudy, the freshman,
Rocket
shows
Man.
up and is like being goofy
Yeah.
on stage. And Sharpay's mad about that because she took Gabriella's role. This scene sucks, I think.
Yeah, the whole thing was weird. And I get, like, it's kind of like, let the underclassmen, like, step up into the, like, everybody's moving on, like, step up into the role.
Yeah.
But he's so cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just like a goofy comedy routine that they do, and it's just not good.
Yeah.
Then Sharpay's assistant decides to step up and be like, "This was my plan all along. I'm taking your role because you took Gabriella's role."
Yeah, that was goofy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, Juilliard's here.
Right.
To give out scholarships.
Only one scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah. Troy and Gabriella show up at the end. And Sharpay has, like, a weird, like, duel where both her and her little, like, British assistant are there, like, fighting with each other on stage.
Yeah. Which that was, like, in character. Like, Sharpay fighting for the spotlight.
Yeah, but I just thought it was goofy.
Well, it's obviously goofy, and I just did not like the British character.
No, I didn't. She's hardly in the... Like, at least this plot comes back up, but she's, like, barely in the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they all, show up on the, stage, and I don't know what they're doing here. They're, like, announcing, like, their future plans and stuff.
Yeah, was that part of the play? Like...
I don't know. This was a weird scene.
Yeah. It's gotta be part of the play.
Yeah.
But then it kind of transitions into graduation, so...
Yeah, well, the big things that happen here is they hand out 2 scholarships to Ryan and Kelsey, who, like, have basically dropped out of the movie at this point, but they get their, like, laurels.
They get their ending, yeah.
Troy announces he's going to Cal instead of U of A, so he can do...
he's going to Berkeley, yeah.
Yeah,
Berkeley.
well, that's called Cal when it's sports.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Looked at, yeah, they go by Cal.
California at Berkeley.
Yes.
Gotcha. But yeah, so he says, "I'm going there. I have chosen basketball and theater."
Yeah, and it's also way closer to where Gabriella's gonna be, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, then, Chad's not there. He ran off and, like, is in the court, shooting basketball, and Troy shows up and they have, like, a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Which I thought this was fine.
First they say Sharpay and Chad are going to U of A, right?
Yes.
Which
yeah.
you're a little surprised at Sharpay, because you would think, she wants the
Yeah,
spotlight. So
but she
you
didn't
would
get the
think,
Juilliard scholarship, so
yeah, she didn't get it. So she's like, I guess I'll go to U of A.
yeah, right. And then yeah, they have a heart to heart, and they come back in, and then we transition to graduation,
Mm-hmm.
where Troy's giving the commencement speech, which I didn't care for the speech.
Yeah, it was fine. It was just kind of like lackluster.
Yeah. And then they have their big finale number, which is called High School Musical, which is like all the graduates on the field in their like red and white graduation uniforms with the caps, and they do like a big dance. What'd you think of the song?
It was fine. The part that I liked the most was when how they're like, making shapes on the field, like in their red and white, like I think they made
Yeah.
like a wildcat, like yeah, I thought that was cute. Like the choreography I thought was good. Like the song was fine. It didn't bother me, but it wasn't like I wasn't like super amazed by it. I just liked the choreography.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like overall, I didn't like some of the songs were really catchy. I liked some of them, but I guess like as a whole, the whole movie, like I kind of like the premise of it. Like, oh, senior year, a lot of decisions to make. Like I like that part. But I think like you're saying, like some of the subplots just like went away, and it wasn't like fully fleshed out. I felt like,
Yeah.
but like some of the songs I thought were good, and I thought, like I said, the whole time I'm like impressed by the choreography the most.
Yeah, they did do more with that, but also, like again, I feel like you get nothing here that you didn't in the previous two films.
Yeah, like and it was so like predictable too. Like it was. I
Yeah.
mean, not that I'm expecting like this amazing plot for this High School Musical 3, but I thought like it was just so like, oh, of course she's gonna go to Stanford. Like nobody, I felt like nobody really doubted that. Like she's gonna go to Stanford, and like he's gonna pick a place like so they could still be together. So I don't know. I felt like it was just very predictable.
Yeah, it's just like there's no reason to watch this film over the previous two,
No,
which are like
yeah.
better plotted. Like Sharpay's actually like a character in that. They don't like drop the subplots randomly out of nowhere. The music's all better in those. Like I just yeah.
I mean, like I said, I like some of the characters. I didn't love the whole thing with Gabriella. Like, I felt like she was portrayed in this one as like, oh, this sweet little girl. Like, I don't know. I didn't love her character this time. I like Sharpay's character better this time.
Really?
Yeah, just because, she's like such a little diva, and like,
She's like that
I
in
like,
all three.
I know, but I like, the first one I'm like, oh my gosh, like Sharpay. But like this one, I guess I got used to her maybe. Chad was kind of like, I mean, he was in a bunch of the songs and stuff, but I felt like he didn't really have like a real plot.
No, but he didn't in the first movie really either. I feel like
Yeah,
his main thing was like bouncing off of Troy.
right. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I just felt like he would have a little bit more of a plot, I guess. But I know the main thing is Troy and Gabriella and them like,
Yeah.
are they going to stay together or not? Are they going to go to school together or not?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, again, like, not a bad concept for a movie about senior
Yeah,
year. It's just, it doesn't come
right.
together.
Yeah, I really was like, I was getting a little bored. Like, which I mean, you never want to do in a movie. So I felt like it was just kind of drawn out. And like you said, nothing really came out of this plot. So it was like, whatever. I like the premise. I like the decisions that need to be made. I love that they have these choices of these like amazing schools. Like I don't know how like realistic that is, but I'm like, okay, it's kind of the resolution to see where everybody went. I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but that's expected for, like, the final in a trilogy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but it wasn't like, oh, I gotta watch this. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, you gotta watch High School Musical 3. Like, no.
Yeah.
Obviously, I waited this long to watch it in the first place. I wasn't super impressed.
No, I definitely wasn't.
And I usually am like the one who's like, oh, yeah, good movie,
I definitely like the previous two better than this one.
Yeah, exactly. I think I like the second one the best, honestly.
I don't know, I can pick, but yeah, they're definitely better than this one.
Yeah. And like as I'm watching it, I was like, and I've said this before, I think, but it just reminded me, I don't love musicals. So it just solidified it. It solidified. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're singing again.
Yeah, that didn't bother me, so.
I don't know why. Like, I thought I liked musicals like a while back. Like, I used to go, like me and my mom would go see like, musicals together. And I thought it was fun. And now I'm just like, I mean, I say we used to. We've gone to a couple, a few of them when I was younger. It wasn't like a regular thing. But I mean, I enjoyed it, like I enjoyed watching Hamilton. Like, it's cool. But I really, in the past couple of years, I realized I don't love musicals and I probably need to stop trying.
Did you watch Wicked?
Yes, I did like Wicked.
Yeah, so.
I did like it. Yeah, but overall, like, I feel like I would have liked just like a regular film about it without all the singing too. So.
You can't do Wicked without the singing, right? It's like core to it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, like I would have, when I was watching this movie, I was thinking I would have rather have just seen like a drama play out, like instead of all the songs.
This is a totally different movie without the songs, though. Like,
right? It'd probably be like way more boring, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just, So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna stop watching musicals because, like, yeah, you're right. I just saw Wicked, but like. Yeah, I just don't, I'm not a huge musical, like, not gonna do it.
I don't know. I thought this was fine as a musical. Like, the musical parts didn't bother me. I think that's a weird
Except
complaint.
for the boys are back.
Yeah.
Just the boys are back. I was like, oh, this is weird.
That is a bad song, yes.
It was, yeah. I mean, for a third movie, though, I thought the songs were pretty good.
I mean, like I keep saying, they're all reruns. Like, there's just nothing on offer here that you don't have in the first two films.
Yeah, very true.
I guess the higher budget, but I think that's a negative in this case. Like, they would have never tried to do a bunch of CG basketballs in the last two movies.
Right.
Because that looks awful.
Yeah. I hate when that happens, though, when you, like, you're anticipating, like, oh, this is gonna be good, and then it's like, not really. It wasn't bad, though. It wasn't bad.
I think it's kind of bad. Mostly by comparison.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to watch this one.
Yeah, I agree.
But, yeah, I guess that's, everything?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright, I'll take us out. This has been Beach View. Thanks for listening and tune in next time. Bye!
Bye!